Everybody, and welcome to the Village of Oak Lawn Board of Trustees regular meeting agenda. We're meeting here at the Village Hall, 9446 South Raymond Avenue. This is meeting number 2023-13. It is Tuesday, July 11th, and it is a little after 9 a.m., 2023. Roll call, please.
Mayor Vorderer.
Present.
Trustee Stalker.
Here.
Trustee Desmond.
Here.
Trustee Soch.
Here.
Trustee Pembroke. Trustee Olejniczak.
Here.
Trustee Mallo.
Here.
We have a quorum. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Veterans may salute. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, any public comments?
Yes. Father Dennis Ziyamek.
Father, please step up. Identify your parish, and are you an Oak Lawn resident?
I am.
Okay.
I'd like to wish everybody a very good morning. And my name is Father Dennis Ziyamek, and I am the pastor at St. Catherine Alexandria Parish at 107th and Kedvale. And from July 7th through the 11th, St. Catherine held its annual carnival. Everyone had a good time, and it was a success. And I would like to thank the village of Oak Lawn, and particularly the Oak Lawn Police and Police Chief Daniel Vittorio for all your support and help, ensuring that everyone had a good time. I enjoyed talking with the officers, all who were most professional. Our parish prays every weekend at Mass for our police, firefighters, military, and all first responders. I also would like to thank all of our neighbors for their patience and understanding. I wish everyone a most relaxing and enjoyable summer. God bless.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 5, conflict of interest disclosure. Any trustee have any conflict with any items on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on to the approval of the regular meeting minutes of 2023-11 dated June 12, 2023. Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Soch.
Yes.
Trustee Olejniczak.
Yes.
Trustee Mallo.
Yes.
Motion approved. Approval of special meeting minutes 2023-12 dated June 28, 2023. Motion, please.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Soch.
Yes.
Trustee Olejniczak.
Yes.
Trustee Mallo.
Yes.
Motion approved. Thank you. New business by village trustees. We'll start in District 1. Trustee Desmond.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no.
Thank you. District 2.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to congratulate the special events, our public works, our police, our fire, and all the staff that was involved with our 4th of July parade. I can tell you that it was another successful year. We had a really nice turnout. What impressed me the most is the amount of variety and ages of the kids that were out there enjoying the parade. So, Paul, you and the team did a phenomenal job. I'm sure you're going to hear more from others, but it was a really nice parade, and I look forward to next year. On to the 95th and Southwest Highway project. I got an update from Bill Meyer yesterday. He said that things are moving along fine. They are now consolidating 95th Street down lanes. So I would strongly suggest that for the next 4 to 6 weeks, you stay away from 95th and Southwest Highway because it is going to be an issue. I know that the police department's worked on a very good plan to curtail and address traffic issues, but inevitably we will see bleed of traffic in the neighborhood. So we just hope that people drive responsibly and act responsibly. But the good news is, after talking to Bill, is that the project has been moving along on their time frame, and they've been able to accomplish what they said that they would accomplish. So hopefully, we're looking at another 4 to 6 weeks, and then that traffic should go back to regular traffic patterns. And again, this is part of the Southwest Suburban Water Project that we, as a village, have been working on for, what's it, 10, 12 years now, Tom?
Yeah, 10, 12 at least.
Yeah, so this is one of the final phases that we'll see in the village of Oak Lawn, getting water downstream to our friends in south and west. But big part of the project, and I know that it's going to be, especially with the heat and the amount of traffic on 95th Street, it's going to be contentious. So please bear with it. That concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee. I did have some conversation with representatives of the Oak Lawn School that had some concerns about traffic in their students in September. This project's supposed to be wrapped up here in Oak Lawn by mid-September. Hopefully, we can wrap it up quicker because school starts a little bit earlier, late August. So I'll ask the police chief to be aware of that when school starts and to provide some additional security for those kids who have a tendency to just want to jump out in traffic and get to school. Okay, Chief? Thank you. District 3?
Thank
Trustee
you,
Miller?
Mayor. Trustee Olejniczak stole some of my thunder there with the parade. That was really my
Mine too.
only report, right? So it's just when a parade like that happens, you really, and the Special Events Commission always, is fearful because of issues that have happened. But I'll tell you, our staff, our police department, our fire department, our public works department did an excellent job keeping everyone safe, making sure nothing happened. So when there's no report of anything, that is the best report of no incidents, and everybody made it home and had a good time and enjoyed themselves that day. So it's always nice to see that, and we got through one that day. So that's really all I had. I just think staff did an amazing job getting that together, and it's our second year doing it from that far down by Northwestern College, and I think it worked out really well. So I think that's the future.
Thank you, Trustee.
Thank you.
District 5
No new business, thank you.
and District 6.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple things. First, again, everybody knows what advocates we are of our first responders. But again, the Oak Lawn Police saw the village alert come out from Village Manager Phelan about a juvenile turning himself in with the incident that took place on 108th and Colmar in May. Again, he turned himself in because of the investigation that was going on for the past 2 months that was going to lead, and they got out in front of it, the parents and juvenile. But again, people forget about incidents when they happen, think, oh, another crime happened, and they think that's the end of it. 2 months later, an arrest takes place, and I don't think enough credit goes to the police department for issues like this, especially when it happens. Everybody's up in arms, rightfully so, and our police department's just phenomenal in what they do. That's all I had to say about that. Thanks to the chief and the whole Oak Lawn Police Department. Secondly, again, this past week, I don't know how they classify these events, these rainstorms anymore. It seems like this would have been a 50-year event, years ago. Now it seems like it happens every 3, 4, 5 years. My district, unbelievable. The floodwater, they had to rope off streets and cordon them off. There was a foot of water in the streets over on Colmar, or now Kilbourne, Kenneth. I drove down Costner. Costner had water all the way across it. The sewers at 107th and Kenneth, 107th and Kilbourne, the water's coming out backwards. To be able to know that we've got a light at the end of the tunnel with this project coming up, all I can tell the residents is, this time we can actually say this is moving forward and it's taking place. Village Manager Phelan was a trustee for this district for many, many, many years, and he's been spearheading it all these years, and I just came in at the right time, and I'm able to work with 218 and MWRD to get this first step done for the village of Oak Lawn, and hopefully there'll be many more steps in the other parts of the village. But I didn't get a lot of complaints about this because people know we're actually doing something this time. Normally everybody would call, what are we doing, what are we doing, what are we doing? Well, everybody, because of the town halls that we've been putting together and all the conversations we've had with the community and the public, people know, okay, this is terrible. We don't like it, but we know that there's something finally being done. So I just wanted to mention that, and add on one little thing to the parade that everybody else was talking about. I don't think anybody mentioned the band specifically afterwards. I complimented Trustee Mallo. The band they had that night was one of the best I've seen out there, and that was the general consensus from everybody that was there. So it was a really fun night. And the other thing I wanted to mention, just from being at the parade and in the parade and then sticking around afterwards, is residents were aware of the police presence and felt safe and secure, and we're glad we had the parade and we were out there. They saw the police on the roofs. They knew what was going on and that, this was going to be a safe event. So, again, kudos to the police department and the village for pulling off a great parade day. Not just the parade, but the concert afterwards. It was a great event. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Soch. If I could just comment on that shooting incident that took place 2 months ago. As I go through the police reports, what I find alarming is we have 17-year-old juveniles running around with guns, okay? We've had a couple of incidents where we've grabbed 17-year-olds with guns, and it's shocking. But I also want to comment that the flock camera system that we invested in was one of the major tools in apprehending that 17-year-old. A investment on the part of this village. I don't know how many crimes we've solved with those cameras.
A lot.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda.
Village managers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Tom? Okay. Usually you don't have anything to say.
What a change. Thank you, Mayor. 2 points that Trustee Soch mentioned I wanted to follow up on. The first being the issue of crime and safety, and Trustee Soch is 1,000% correct. This board, this organization, our staff, our management, right down to the entry-level employees are fully committed to keeping this town safe, and more importantly, communicating, or maybe not more importantly, as importantly, communicating to the residents and the taxpayers and the business owners and managers that we are doing that. Yesterday, I probably received a dozen responses to the email that I had sent out saying that we did arrest, or he turned himself in, the shooter at 108th and Colmar. And the frustration, of course, of the people who live in that area, including myself, is you don't know who it is. You hear the shots. People are checking their cameras. There was really no evidence at all. And I firmly thought that this would be a case that was not going to be solved. And the chief assured me, I don't know, maybe he knew information he was withholding. I don't know. But he said, no, we're going to get this person. And that's a reassuring feeling. And I am a resident. I'm a taxpayer. I have kids. I have a family. To know crime's going to happen. I mean, the society, unfortunately, is still, in my opinion, a downward trajectory as it relates to just basic human decency and respect for one another. But one of the gentlemen that emailed me yesterday, in response to my email, made a point to say, it's good that we are getting this information out there so that criminals, they're human beings as well, some of them, know that maybe they're not going to apply their trade in Oak Lawn. And the chief and the police department are making a point to let us know. We're letting the residents know, not in a way to be gossipy. And sometimes people will say, I heard about something. How come we didn't communicate about that? So in my emails, I do explain to the people on the receiving end that there are 3 levels. There's an alert, there's a notice, and there's an update, right? An alert is an emergency situation, and if you're getting that email, you're likely getting a 911 call as well, shelter in place, avoid the area, that type of thing. And an update more is just like I did yesterday, to follow up on those people who are rightly concerned about an incident, and did you find this person? And I just want to make sure that people understand a lot of this is because of this board being strong in the face of unrelenting criticisms, attacks, insults. I mean, people come to these meetings hurling, accusations of racism. This board, this organization doesn't care what color you are, what religion you are, who you want to marry. If you commit a crime, this town is going to come after you. And that's the message we want to send, and keep sending it. And Trustee Soch is correct in saying, Chief, the department, please keep what you're doing. Keep doing it to the greatest extent possible. and respecting, of course, the rights of everybody. But when we get messages like we do from the people saying, I was going to move, I was afraid, I've been here 45 years, and the final message is, but I feel better. I feel better knowing that this organization is committed to preventing crime to the greatest extent we can, and when we can't, catching the people to commit crimes. The other item I want to speak about, Trustee Soch spoke of the flooding, which was significant. And in an ironic way, I was out of town, but you don't want it to happen, but you fall into a sense of security when it doesn't happen for a couple of years. And you're like, well, maybe we don't need this project, or maybe we don't need, and then you get that painful reminder. But the important thing to know is a lot went into that, and a lot that this board committed to doing, because the well opened up financially from the MWRD, who committed to this project. We were trying for 2.5 decades, and they understood and recognized the problem, didn't disagree with it, but it never could quite move up their list until we, this organization, this town, demonstrated to them that we were serious. And how did we do that? Our Public Works Department told us years ago that we needed to do things like the point of sale inspection that people don't like. When you go to sell your home, if you have an improper hookup, we used to call it an illegal hookup because that's what we thought it was, but many homes in Oak Lawn, I had no idea how many homes in Oak Lawn were built this way. When you go to sell, if you have that type of connection, it has to be disclosed to the buyer. We won't stop the sale. You can still move forward. The buyer can balk, move away, but we've devoted money to that, a 50-50 cost share program to fix that problem, up to $5,000, I believe, on our end. That was one thing. I don't know, it's in the millions of dollars, probably multiple millions of dollars in the last 4 or 5 years of slip lining our sewers. Trustee Soch spoke of not many people complaining. I think in large part, the people that complained the most, understandably, were the people that were getting raw sewage backing up into their homes. There's no words you can use to console those people. Many of those people, at least in our district, I'm sure in others, took advantage of this 50-50 cost share program to fix the hookup and the slip lining that occurs where we reline the storm or the sanitary sewers has prevented I've spoken to probably a dozen people over the last couple of years who took advantage of it. They don't get that problem anymore. So I just want to make sure, in addition to the hopeful big finale, the big project that's going to hold 15 to 20 million gallons of water, likely all of that water that was in the street will be temporarily in that retaining area and then flushed out once the sewer's empty. That project is likely going to start next, probably fall of 2024, for people who are wondering. We're trying to be mindful of the schools and their schedules and the sports teams and others, but that will be, I think, a crowning achievement for everybody in this village who, and I'm thinking of some people who've passed on who used to come to these meetings, and a few who did move. Mr. Dillon from the 5th District, he kind of couldn't take it anymore, and then a couple of years later, we did address a problem in his district. So it's a real problem for people. But I guess I wanted to say, as Trustee Soch did, it's been a long haul. Just today, the mayor received a letter from MWRD for another $1 million that they're committing to the Melvina Ditch project. Some more evidence still that they recognize this is a huge problem. We are an important constituency for them, and I think we are top 3 on their projects for the Polaris Fields project, which is a good feeling. And that's all I have today.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Village Manager. And we'll move on to the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine and have been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Trustees, Village Manager, or Village Committees, and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. A, request Board of Trustees approval of the Special Event Commission recommendation 7-0 to approve the Oak Lawn Library Touch a Trunk event on Saturday, September 23rd, 2023. B, request Board of Trustees approval of the Appeals Board's recommendation 7-0 to allow for a 25-foot front yard fence variation at 7016 West Avon And C is ordinance 231343, allowing that fence. D, request Board of Trustees approval of the Appeals Board recommendation 7-0 to allow for a 588 square foot impervious lot coverage variation at 109 South Karloff Avenue. And E is ordinance 231344, allowing that variation. F, request Board of Trustees approval of the Appeals Board recommendation 7-0 to allow for a 25-foot yard fence variation at 9900 Menard Avenue. And G is ordinance 231345, allowing that variation. H, Board of Trustees approval of the Traffic and Safety Commission's recommendation 7-0 for a four-way stop sign at the intersection of 104th and Mansfield Avenue. And I is ordinance 231346, authorizing that stop sign. J, ordinance 231347, an ordinance amending certain provisions of the Oak Lawn Village Code pertaining to compensation of members of resident committees. K, ordinance 231348, an ordinance approving and authorizing execution of an economic incentive agreement between the Village of Oak Lawn and CNR Restaurant Holding, doing business as Hog Wild 2. L, resolution 231349, a resolution authorizing the release of certain executive session minutes. And M, resolution 231350, a resolution approving a contract with Davis Concrete Construction Company to perform the 2023 50/50 sidewalk concrete repair program, that is removal and replacement of public sidewalks. A motion, please.
Motion to approve.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Soch.
Yes.
Trustee Olejniczak.
Yes.
Trustee Mallo.
Yes.
Motion approved. The village clerk's report?
There's disbursement resolution 2023-13D1 dated June 27th, 2023, in the amount of $1,652,285.68. A motion?
Motion to approve.
Second? Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Soch.
Yes.
Trustee Olejniczak.
Yes.
Trustee Mallo.
Yes.
B is disbursement resolution 2023-13D2 dated July 11th, 2023, in the amount of $12,195,063.82.
Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Soch.
Yes.
Trustee Olejniczak.
Yes.
Trustee Mallo.
Yes.
Motion approved. We move on to the village president's report. At the risk of sounding like I'm piggybacking on all my trustees, I too want to congratulate our staff on that 4th of July parade. We know the police and the fire are phenomenal, and they did a great job. But it's the people behind the scenes that made that so good. Our technology department, if you've had an opportunity to view that, we've had drone cameras, okay, we had close-ups, and of course our staff, Sue Kelly and Dee Daisiak, who announced the parade, they were movie stars. It was really, really fantastic.
You could tell by their glasses.
Yeah, yeah. And I think next year we'll even be making it better, won't we, Vernon? We had some discussions last night on how we could make it better, and I'm sure we can move forward with that. And of course, these concerts on the green are phenomenal. I was at the one on Sunday. It was packed. People loved it, and we got some great bands coming forward in the future. And one more thing, I had an opportunity yesterday to attend a ribbon cutting of our Oak Lawn Park District at their newest renovated park, Lewandowsky Park, which is located about 88th and Cicero. It's just a tree preserve. They put in walking paths, and it's just beautiful. And I'm thinking to myself, earlier in the day, I took my 4 grandchildren to Wolf Wildlife Reserve, and we walked around. And my kid, they're 9, they're 6, and they're 3, and they had such a good time just looking at turtles and fish and ducks and walking through the woods. And I have to think to myself, how great we are as Oak Lawn residents to have all the services that our staff provides. More services than their salaries justify. They're here, they're committed to this town, but these park districts are the real gems of the village of Oak Lawn. Make sure you use them. They're fine and phenomenal. All right, with that, we'll move on to executive session 2023-08 for the purpose of discussing, 1, the closed meeting minutes of 2023-07 dated June 12th, 2023, the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, and 1, setting the price for a sale of property owned by the public
Mayor,
body.
could I ask could you ask for a motion to add pending litigation to the?
And a motion to, can I get a motion to add?
So move.
Pending litigation?
Second.
So move second.
Roll call?
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Soch?
Yes.
Trustee Olejniczak?
Yes.
Trustee Mallo?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. That ends our public portion of the meeting. We go into executive session. Thank you for coming out. Thank you, Father, for your support, your prayers.
Thank you,
Okay.